Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. The drama between President William Samoei Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua continues, even though they are trying to hide it. William Ruto is a very shrewd politician. He studied his deputy president and he knew that Rigathi Gachagua is such an extrovert and such a very hyperactive politician. When things got thicker and the country was burning, William Ruto knew very well that there was no option but to talk to the opposition. But amidst all these preparations to talk to Raila Odinga, he kept his deputy in the dark and Rigathi did not know. The body language and the tone of the deputy president will tell you that he is a man who was acting out of ignorance because he did not know that there were talks that had been initiated. Take for example, when William Samoei Ruto jetted out of the country and he was going to Germany, he left behind a charged deputy who led goons to go and burn Uhuru's land. He left behind a charged deputy who led goons to torch and burn churches and mosques. And the police was running riot of peaceful demonstrators. While all this was happening, William Ruto wanted to ensure that Rigathi Gachagua remains with a rotten egg on his face. Because while in Germany, he met Chris Coons and he knew very well that there was a plan dictated by the Western countries that there must be talks. So he left behind a deputy president who kept on chest thumping and ruling out any possibility of talking to the opposition. In fact, I remember the deputy president once said that if ever the president tries talking to the opposition, then they will serve a ties. And he had given himself a role to become the prefect of ensuring that Raila would not come any closer to William Samoei Ruto. Little did he know that William Ruto has got a very profound experience on how these things are done. Because in the last regime, William Ruto was in the same position where Rigathi is. He had the same stand and position of not allowing Raila Odinga to talk to the president then. And William Ruto understands that for the sake of the nation, for peace and tranquility to prosper, there are people who must be kicked out of a negotiating table. And that is what he did. If you looked at the dress code of Rigathi Gachagua yesterday in State House, William Ruto was somehow dressed in official clothes. The only thing that was lacking was a necktie. But he looked like it looked an official occasion. Rigathi Gachagua was in casual. What does it tell you? It can only mean one thing. He was ambushed. Time was running out. There were external forces forcing them to ensure that they brief the country on what is going on. It was Sunday and Monday was approaching with Raila Odinga knowing very well that if something is not done, this was going to be the mother of all demonstrations. So Rigathi Gachagua comes in the full glare of the cameras looking very gloomy and sad and confused, and he doesn't know what to do. And Kenyans are very wise. They looked at Rigathi Gachagua and they have started reminding Rigathi Gachagua of all his speeches. Sometimes you don't need to be very active. Those who are passive carry the day. Kimani Ichung'wah, it tells me that those who are close to the deputy president were kept in the dark. Kimani Ichung'wah is one of them who had even suggested that we arrest Raila Odinga. While he was, saying that Raila should be arrested, William Ruto had begun talks and was looking for a ceasefire. Let me tell you, we know that in every kind of handshake, this one is not going to be a handshake where Raila is going to work with William Ruto, but there's going to be a kind of truce. There are casualties, and mark my words, the first casualty is Rigathi Gachagua. I'm telling you, he was afraid, his fears has come back to haunt him, because right now talks have begun. And let me tell you, when Chris Cunning, the Delaware US Senator, came to the country, there was a clear plan of what he wanted. And that plan has not been achieved, I can assure you. Wait for the next few weeks and you will know that there was a plan. And this plan, I can assure you that Rigathi Gachagua is not included in this. He is going to accept it by force because there are powers that have dictated what must happen. Rigathi Gachagua, as I said earlier, is still being obsessed by succession politics. But he has proved that we cannot leave the country in his hands. There is no way we can allow someone who can kill everyone as long as he is in power. He has proved it. This was a test for him, and he has proved that he is not worth it. William Ruto cheated his deputy, and Rigathi was shocked that there were talks. He's coming to terms with the realities. There is nothing he can do. If he wants, he can resign. There are very many able men and women who can fill that position. He's frowning, he's angry, but it is too late for him. Because you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that there are things that we are still asking. Opening the server, that is the elephant in the room. We are asking the same question from where we are, and we are waiting for Raila Odinga to answer those questions. But peace is something that you and I must agree that is very good for even development, is good for the coexistence of even you and I, the businessmen, the school-going children. Peace was really required. Raila must only be reminded of two things. He must not forget his cause for champion, the cost of living, electoral justice, opening this. These are things that he must talk about at whatever level. But there are people in this government who are really going to regret. They didn't want Raila to come close, but the country is bigger than all of them. This country does not only belong to Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto. Raila Odinga controls more votes than they. And so they cannot have it in such a way that if it is not their way, then it is the highway. And this is one lesson that Rigathi Gachagua must learn. The country is bigger than an individual. In fact, today, if Rigathi Gachagua is left with Raila Odinga to contest for a political seat, Raila will carry the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the situation where we are in. And one was telling me that there is a rift between the mountain and Rift Valley, because the mountain feels that they were kept in darkness. There were a few friends of William Ruto. He knew that people were talking. So as it is, Kenyans are laughing at Rigathi Gachagua. He must swallow his pride. His very strong speeches come back to haunt him. But that is the situation. You joke with Raila Odinga, you regret it. You chest thump, you come to regret it. People have done it before, and Rigathi Gachagua must understand that is now the deputy president, not the DO in the former KANU regime. Ladies and gentlemen, let us continue enjoying the peace as we wait for Raila Odinga to tell us whether he's going to push for opening of the server. That is my take.